Every time I go to start filming, that's a siren. Oh, life. Hey there, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Milk Makeup Blur and Set. That side's in French, so I'm going to hold it over here. The Blur and Set Matte Loose Setting Powder. I have the shade Translucent Light, and I actually got sent this to try out from Influencer to give my honest opinions and thoughts. So, this is what the packaging looks like. It's a nice plastic, thick container with a screw on top, and it comes with a puff and a lid that opens like this. Oh, try not to eat it. And then the powder is in there with the mesh, kind of a mesh bouncy sifter thing. A+++ for descriptive words. Anyway, so this is what the powder looks like. I applied it on my face today, and I'll insert that later on if you want to check out me applying it. But before I get into my thoughts, I want to read a little bit of information about the powder. So, Blur and Set is a talc-free, silicone-free, translucent, loose setting powder that blurs pores, sets makeup, and cuts shine, not glow. For me, personally, I have dry skin, so any kind of loose setting powder tends to suck out the moisture, and especially when it's marketed as a matte setting powder, I tend to I tend to stay away from those types of powders because I need all the moisture to stay on my skin and not leave. But, however, in the summer I do get oily up here in like my forehead zone and sometimes around my chin. But for the most part, my skin is normal in the summer, and then it gets kind of dry, combination, sometimes normal, depending on my skincare in the winter. What draws me to this right away, it blurs, sets, and smooths. That's the main point. And it says under blurs, powder-filled blurring microspheres blur pores and cuts shine instantly for a soft focus effect. Under sets, it says a sheer, lightweight setting powder that locks in makeup all day without adding heavy cakiness. The talc-free, silicone-free formula sets without leaving a chalky cast or causing flashback. And under smooth, it says avocado powder and hyaluronic acid combined to smooth skin for a canvas that allows powder to lay without settling into fine lines. So all that sounds very appealing to me. The fact that it's supposed to be sheer and lightweight and that it locks in makeup all day without adding heavy cakiness is kind of ideal description for me. Also, with the hyaluronic acid and the whole smoothing skin without settling into fine lines, that is also what I'm looking for in a powder. Those are the most ideal descriptive terms and words that I look for when choosing a face setting powder because, as I said, I have dry skin and I don't want to suck the moisture out. I don't want to look like I have a heavy caked on layer of foundation. And a lot of times, more finely milled powders tend to be white, and they do leave a white cast and they do change the color of foundation. And the nice thing about this is that it does come in 3 shades, I believe, a light, a medium, and a deep. I'll double check that and write that in the description box below. So this powder, straight off the bat, was intriguing to me before I got sent it. Now, my thoughts. So far, I love it. I have to say I am blown away by it living up to its claims. I've only had it on for about 4 hours now, and it is summer, it is hot, and I feel like I don't look shiny or oily. Any bit of glow you see is from my highlighter today. I do have a little bit of like dewiness, glow on my forehead, but it doesn't make me feel oily or uncomfortable or make me feel like I look shiny and like I need to blot. So overall for me, I am so impressed. I put it underneath my eyes today and I used the Tarte Shape Tape, and number one, Tarte Shape Tape is the most drying concealer I own and use. So I have to be very careful on how I use it, what I set it with, and usually I set it with the Hourglass powders because they're finely milled, they don't cake up, and they do add a bit of radiance under my eyes, so it doesn't necessarily suck out the moisture and accentuate my fine lines. So Today I set it with this powder and I am so surprised. It didn't change the color or consistency of what my under eye looked like. Normally with a matte setting powder, my under eyes look darker and extremely dry, and this did not happen with this powder. I'm so shocked still. And then I set my whole face with it, and immediately I felt like it did blur. It blurred out my whole complexion. Yes, I know I look ridiculous, but I'm in the middle of filming my BoxyCharm try-on for the month of August. But I wanted to test out the new Milk Makeup Blur and Set Matte Loose Setting Powder. I haven't even opened it yet, so I wanted to try it out. So let's open this up. Ooh, it comes with a little puff. How nice. And it has a lid top. Blur, set, go. How cute. Ooh, it has a mesh. So it's like a meshy, bouncy thing. And I'm actually not going to use the puff right now. I want to put this underneath my eye. So I'm just going to gently tap in here. Oh, how cool is that? And let's just go right in. Now I have dry under eyes, so sometimes powders like this don't necessarily work for me, but I wanted to try it anyway. So far, it's not terrible. Usually I have very bad luck with setting powders under my eyes, but this so far does not make me look 90, so that's pretty good. Huh. So it is matte, but it is not draining the life out of my under eyes. I am pretty impressed. Now I'm going to go in with a big fluffy brush and just put this all over. I like this mesh top. That's cool. And just set my foundation. I have on the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Almond mixed with the Bare Minerals like bronzer serum, just because it's a tad too light for me right now. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so upon first application, I really like this. I normally have dry skin, so when I add powders on top, it can look very cakey or dry or create flakes that I didn't have before. So right now, I'm very impressed. It is definitely blurring my complexion, so let's see how this wears, and we'll check back in a little bit later. I'm gonna go finish my BoxyCharm tutorial and get the rest of my makeup on, so stay tuned for that. So as of right now, I feel like my skin looks healthy, it looks good, it doesn't look oily, it doesn't look shiny. I feel very just natural and radiant and skin-like, and I'm really impressed. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to blot, and then I am going to add more powder. This right here is highlight, this is all highlight, so I'm just gonna blot up here. You know, I'm not really sure how this is going to work with very oily skin, but I'm going to continue to test it out, and if anything changes, then I'll leave it down in the description box below. So you can see I am more matte now. Now I didn't use the puff, I actually used this Real Techniques brush. It's a big fluffy powder brush. But what I found interesting, I think it was either on the box or in the description at Sephora or Milk Makeup, whatever, that this is infused with charcoal to, you know, avoid bacteria and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting, especially if you're going to use a powder puff over and over again. I feel like, you know, like a beauty blender, like you'd want to wash it. It gets kind of gross. So I'm just gonna tap in here. A lot comes out. I'm just gonna start by applying it on my forehead where I would normally. So much powder. A lot of powder does come off out of the sifter. Maybe that's because I dropped it and now there's a lot of powder on top. But since it is a loose powder, it does get everywhere. So this, like I said, is highlighter, I think it even covered up my nose highlight. Oh well. But I am definitely more matte right here and on my forehead. And I will keep this on and keep you updated if there's any changes in the next 4 or so hours. And that would be like a whole day of wear. Another thing that draws me to this is that it's cruelty-free, paraben-free, 100% vegan, talc-free, silicone-free, and dimethicone-free, which, you know, a lot of people are ingredient conscious nowadays, so that's pretty good. And also, it's cruelty-free. I know a lot of people are going cruelty-free, and I am trying to head more in that direction because, you know, it's year 2018. Why are we testing on animals? Anyway, that's besides the point. You do get 25 grams or 0.87 ounces in this. I'm not sure what the standard is for loose setting powders because, as I said, I don't usually gravitate towards them because they are very drying, and I do have just a couple of sample sizes of like the Tarte one, the It Cosmetics, Makeup Forever, Dermablend, a couple of others, but I have them all in travel or like trial sizes, so I don't know what an actual loose powder standard amount is. But to me, this is a pretty good amount. This seems like there's a lot in here, and it's not like a gigantic jar with a lot of wasted space, so I feel like you're getting a good amount in here. So for me and my dry skin, so far this is amazing. I'm gonna keep testing it out, and I will keep you posted in the description box if anything changes. And I'm also gonna try this out throughout the winter, and maybe I'll do an update video, you know, a few months from now to see how it fares with my very dry skin. As far as oily skin goes, I'm not sure how well it's gonna work, only because I feel like it works great for me, and I have dry / normal skin right now, and the only oily areas I have, like I said, are my forehead. But if you're super oily, I would test it out, see if you can get a sample from Sephora. If you have tried this and you do have oily skin, let me know how it works for you, or if you have dry skin or normal skin, whatever, leave that down below as well. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, leave that down. I almost said downstairs. Leave that down in the comments below as well, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!